Good morning again, Year 3, and it's Thursday the 28th of January. I hope you're well, and here we are with today's writing lesson. As you remember, we are writing to entertain dragon enthusiasts through our story writing. The Dragon Snatcher is our inspiration, and we have gone right through the build-up. They've now arrived at the castle. We're now moving from the build-up towards the climax, but we're not quite there yet. Because once they've arrived at the castle, we have more characters to introduce. So today we're going to be thinking about the scary dragon. That is the wizard's dragon. We're going to meet the wizard's dragon for the first time in our story. So we're learning to make the reader think the dragon is dangerous, scary, and menacing today. We're doing this because we want to entertain the reader and make our writing worth reading. So we're going to be writing a description of the dragon that's in the courtyard. And particularly today, you're going to be editing to improve the description to ensure that we communicate through our vocabulary choices that the reader of the dragon is dangerous, scary, and menacing. There he is. George is there, right in the middle of the picture. Can you see him there? Still wrapped in his blanket. He's left his dragon outside. And look what's standing in the courtyard. A very different kind of dragon. First of all, the most obvious thing is the colour. You've also noticed this heavy chain around his neck. That suggests that's a dragon that needs controlling. You see the fire and the smoke coming out of his nostrils, and look at these pointy teeth and these sharp spikes making a crest around his head. I also noticed down his back, he's got some strange spines going on down there. He's got these enormous wings with black leathery skin between, and look at these claws down here, quite incredible claws. And then we've got this long whipping tail with a spike on the end as well. And you might have just noticed his feet, enormous long toes with great talons on the end. So we want to write a really good description of that dragon to make the reader feel like this. So we're really building up the tension in the reader from that exciting dragon ride to approaching the castle and feeling that sense of nervous energy and evilness. And now we're in the castle and it's just getting worse because look at that terrible dragon standing there with a chain around its neck. Now, actually, I've been rather kind to you today. You're going to take a piece of writing that I've created. I've had a go at describing the dragon and I want you to edit it. So you haven't got to dream up all the ideas yourself. What you've got to do is take my ideas and see if you can up-level them. You'll notice my writing is not very good and I've deliberately made it full of mistakes. There's some spelling mistakes, there's some punctuation mistakes, and there's some grammatical errors in there too. But the first thing I want you to do before you get into checking all the spelling and those sorts of things is I actually want you to make it sound better. So you're going to have to improve this piece of writing. You could add things in, take things away, or change things that are there. So let's have a look at what I've put. The first sentence says, a soot black dragon stood guard. Okay, that's kind of all right. I've talked about the colour of the dragon. You might decide that you would like to replace the colour of the dragon with a different adjective. You might come up with a better black adjective. It could be that you have another way of saying how dark or black he is. It might be that you want to keep in soot black, but you might want to insert an extra adjective in here. A soot black menacing dragon stood guard, in which case you would then write your additional word in here. Maybe you could insert an adverb in here to explain how he stood guard. silently stood guard, threateningly stood guard. You can decide how he stood guard. Maybe at the end here, just before the full stop, you could insert a simile. Maybe he stood guard like, who knows? That's up to you. I'm not going to give you very much help with this today. It's for you to come up with some ideas to add things in. So you've got adjectives you could insert. You've got adverbs with ly endings to insert. You could insert your own similes too. Now you'll notice on the page that I've given you, I've double line spaced it deliberately to give you loads of room to write around it. I want loads of it changed. I want you to really go to town on editing things. Do not be afraid of changing my ideas to better ideas. Okay, so that's job one. Go for it and really up-level those ideas. When you're happy that everything sounds much more dangerous and scary and menacing, then you go to job two, and that's where you go and do your proofreading. I want spelling corrections done. I want punctuation corrections done. I'll give you a clue. Dragon is misspelled. I'll give you a clue here. I've missed my capital letter at the beginning of this sentence. Also, you've got to check that each sentence sounds correct. It had yellow eyes looked all around. It had yellow eyes looked all around does not sound grammatically correct. I've done that deliberately. You have to work out how to fix that sentence so it does sound right. So your starting point is a terrible first go, and your job is to make it right. If you'd like an extension to that, once all those stages have been done, then you can use a thesaurus to up-level some of the vocabulary, make it even more menacing. Remember, when using a thesaurus, only use words you actually know. Don't just pick a word you've never heard of, because it probably won't be right. Now, if you need a bit of help with that, I have simplified the task on this page here. So I have underlined wherever there is a mistake. It could be a spelling mistake or a grammatical mistake. So I've underlined them to show you where the errors are. And then wherever there is a star, I would like you to insert an adjective. And I've given you an adjective bank down here. So that is only to be used if you really can't do the core task yourself successfully, then you can use the simplified task instead. You do not do both. And when you've finished, read it to somebody and see if they pull this face. And if they do, you've done a good job. So that's it. Have fun editing my not very good writing today and see if you can turn it into something which is really much more scary and menacing for the reader. I look forward to seeing them later. Take care and have a good day.